Alright, we see the map, excellent connection, so that means the live is up. So this is the mission I did last night with my wingman, and at the two targets we see here in red, I've put one main target which is on the waypoint, which is waypoint 2 in this flight. That target is sort of like a pre-planned building target. But we also have some supply trucks that can appear on both targets, either to the east, to the west, or to the south. And there are also some vehicles moving around. So since this is an F-16 mission, I've armed the F-16 with 2 JDAMs on one side, the GBU-38s, and 2 GBU-12 laser-guided bombs on the other. And the goal here is basically to drop the JDAMs on the building and on the vehicles, the supply trucks. And then for the moving vehicles, we're going to use the laser-guided bombs. And as I put in the description, unfortunately for my wingman, I guess I had done like a copy-paste of the planes. And so he had the same code for his bombs as I had. But in the briefing, I had given him a different code. And so we couldn't get any hits with his laser-guided bombs on the vehicles. So we ended up doing some strafe runs with guns because most targets are destroyable with guns. So we figured out a way to get around the problem to get all our targets. But right after the mission, of course, I fixed the issue in the editor. So since I flew my mission last night on the ammo warehouse, this time I'm going to fly his mission on the HQ House 2-1. And I guess it's a good way to make sure that I'm going to be lasing on the right laser code for the bombs that I have. And that code is 1682. Here I've put a tanker, so maybe I'll see if I feel like practicing my tanking skills after the mission. The thing is that it's late in the day, so it's going to get darker and darker as we go. So I don't know. We'll see if I feel like refueling at night or just late evening. And I've put some F-15 escorts here, so that pretty much means that the Syrians will probably keep their planes on the ground. So it's mostly an air-to-ground mission. Don't expect too much air-to-air for this one. But what's nice is that for the secondary targets, the supply trucks, they could appear in different spots. So it really forces me to use my targeting pod for this. So I'm going to click here. And so it says this is 16 strike on random targets. Will force you to use your targeting pod to locate enemy targets that can appear in various positions. These change randomly every time the mission loads to 3 different locations. So there. We have different radio things. We'll have a more complete briefing in just a moment. Make sure I've got my switches in the right positions. That looks good here. So I'm going to be taking 831, which is my wingman's number. And so this situation part we had already seen. And so I'm going to be Springfield 2-1. So it says for this mission, you'll want to destroy the HQ House 2-1 at 0.2 with a GBU-38. This is our high value target. And then for your second JDAM, try to locate where the enemy hides their supply trucks. They could be under camo nets to the east, near tents in the town center to the west, or in a forest to the south. So those are the 3 possible locations I'm going to check. The enemy constantly changes their position from one day to the other. And then for your 2 GBU-12s, try to find 2 patrolling BTR-80s that the enemy uses to patrol the sector. They were stolen from the police. So the laser code is 1682. I'm going to go double check that just to be sure. But first of all, this is the F-16, just to show you what it looks like. It's got the GBU-12s on this side, GBU-38s on the other side. We have a targeting pod. On my wingman's plane, I had put like 3 fuel tanks just to make sure that he could loiter for quite a while. And if we go look here in our ground crew, rearm, refuel, and we check the bombs, it does say 1682. So we have the correct code. So what I'm thinking I'll do is I'll change my centerline fuel tank for an ECM pod. That's going to be my only change there.
Request rearming. Copy.
So it does take a little while for them to rearm, even if it's just the one thing we're changing. So during that time we can set up our cockpits, power up here for the targeting pod. We can go adjust the lighting for the HUD. It's a bit bright right now. There we go. Get our helmet display turned on. And then we can get, well, we'll wait a little bit for the countermeasures. We'll wait for the weaponry as well. Okay, so rearming is complete. So these I want to change to CCRP because we'll be using the targeting pod to shoot the GBU-12s. And for these, you simply want to power them on. And so that's going to work, and this timer will go down, and it'll be good to go. For air-to-air, one of the things sometimes I like to do is set my sidewinders to be bore, but I've only equipped AMRAAMs for this mission, so like I said, we're not expecting any air-to-air, so nothing to set up there. Let's set up our countermeasures here. We're going to put that on the manual mode, and we're going to turn on these for the ECM. Yeah, I guess that can get rid of the parking brake. I like to turn on my master arm and lasers on the ground so I don't forget once in flight. I know I'm not supposed to do that, but I say it often. That's the way I do things. So nose wheel steering is on. It seems to be working. So next, let's have fun with radio comms. So for the tower here, it's 120.1, and then if I go back here, I'm already on that frequency on COM2, and so I can use COM2 to talk to the tower.
Springfield 2, request startup.
And while we're checking our frequencies here, I guess I am on the frequency for the AWACS, so that's good. And then we'll just request taxi.
Request taxi to runway. Springfield 2, clear to taxi to runway 28.
Alright, so we're going to go to taxi and get to our runway 28. So we're at Gaziantep in Turkey. It's one of the airfields I like to use because it's closer to the action than, let's say, in Sirlik. Oh, look, a Huey patrolling. I like to put those as a decoration on my bases. Makes it feel alive when there are helicopter patrols. That's our plane right there. loadout I have is a fairly standard loadout I've seen for F-16s that were used during Operation Infinite Resolve in Syria and in Iraq, fighting ISIS. The JDAMs are good when you just want to drop bombs quickly on either a pre-planned target or something you spot on the targeting pod when the target is fixed. But the laser guided bombs are good if the targets are moving. You can put the laser on the target and the bomb will follow that. Alright, so let's ask permission for takeoff.
Springfield 2, request takeoff. Springfield 2, you are cleared for takeoff already. Climb 300 at QFE 27.57.
Alright, Springfield flight running up now. Airborne, gear up. Usually once I'm airborne I put the lights on steady like this. And so we're going to turn around. Gonna get off the afterburner because we're trying to save fuel. So since we're on the frequency for the AWACS, that's why we can hear him when he's calling out his waypoints. We could also call him for bogey dope, but I know that there's nothing in these skies, so we're probably going to get a clean response. Exactly. So right now I'm slowly climbing, probably gonna get to Angels 21. You can see the 15s and 16s, there's all kinds of planes, but these are friendly. We have indications of SA2s here on the HSI, so we'll have to be careful about those, but I think we should stay fairly out of their range most of the flight. Again, these are some of the targets that I've assigned to be random. So either one of those two could appear in the mission, but they are still there, like because I made them visible in the MFD. It's like they're known threats, but we don't know which one is going to appear if it does. So just to give you an idea, as we're climbing like this, I'm just going to put my attitude hold switch on there. There we go. If we go look at the map and we put our waypoints, you'll see that we're heading for this target here. I'm just going to choose one of the soldiers on the ground and we're going to have a look at what it looks like here. So you see this building there, which has a few trucks in the backyard with ammo boxes and things like that. That's like the enemy's HQ in the area. So we're going to try to hit that, and then in this sector there should be some vehicles moving around. If we check on F10, we might spot some vehicles somewhere. I don't know. But that's the idea. That's where we're going. So here my F-16 keeps on climbing. Just gonna bring it on the waypoint. Maybe I'm gonna give it a little bit of gas to gain a bit more speed here. Use a little bit of that afterburner. On the F-16, that's nice. Here on the controls you can see where it's gonna go in afterburner here, and there is a little bit of a noise you'll hear when I reach that area. So that little click tells me when I'm about to go in burner. So that's something useful to have. I also have the detents on my physical HOTAS that I have to get past the detents to get into afterburner. Alright, so we're slowly climbing, but we're getting where we want to be. So since we're going to be entering enemy territory soon, we can turn the lights off, as we can see here, and we can see now in the outside view. We're going to be a bit more stealthy, not advertising our position. And we do see that there's an indication of a 2 there, so that's one of the SA-2s. From the angle I can try to determine which one of the 2 it is. I think it might be this one. And we're passing our waypoint, so we'll switch to waypoint 2, which is 33 miles. Again, I'm gonna give it a little bit of throttle to increase my speed. It allows the bombs to fly a little bit longer, like when you drop the JDAMs. If you have a little bit of speed, so we'll go with altitude hold at 21,000. That's pretty good. We'll switch to air to ground. Here we'll turn on our targeting putt, which oddly enough it says off. I did turn the power on here. And here I like to set a fairly high angle for that, but that's bizarre. I also have to set my laser code, so let's do that right away. No, 1682, you see. Gonna be 1682. And I usually like to put code in the 2. But right now it says that it's off, so check here. Maybe because I did a rearming, I have to turn off, turn on. I think that's what it is. So that means I'm going to have to orbit a bit here. So I'll get out of air to ground and we'll try to orbit for a little while, because it takes some time to warm up. These are some of the unfortunate things that can happen when you stick with the pre-planned ordnance. You don't have any troubles like that, but I had to go and change it, of course. So I guess while I orbit, we can look at the dam below. Can look at the beautiful jet we're flying in circles. Sun's coming down there on the horizon. So let's say I go to air to ground now. Okay, it's starting to get warmed up there. Hopefully by the time we finish our little circle here, it'll be good to go. So that's set up, so we'll bring back the weapons page. So this is the refueler for planes that have the drogue. This is our AWACS, and these are the AWACS escorts, as you can see there. This is our refueler. If we want to go refuel later, that's the one we'll use. And these are the F-15s patrolling the area. And that's the helicopter we saw at the base earlier. Little Huey from Turkey. And that's us making circles because we're waiting for our targeting pod to be ready, and it seems to be getting there. Alright, so the reason why I'm switching here to the HSI once in a while is I want to see how far I am in there. I want to go air ground. If I just do this here, okay, we got this as our soy. If I go previous waypoint, new waypoint, probably can't see because the plane is blocking it, so let's make a sharp left. How are we doing on fuel? 9,000, we're still quite good. So now we've got the target in front of us. There we go. So now we can play with our brightness and contrast a little bit. I think it's because of the clouds that we can't see very well. It's very hazy, so let's turn it to white hot. There we go. Now I think we can see our building a little bit better. We can zoom in on it. Just confirming that I'm on my GBU 38s. They're powered and ready. So here what I'll do is I'll just put the cursor even more precisely, like on the base of the building there, and then have a lock on it. Make that an INR point. Pretty sure if I target that spot there, when I drop the bomb, it'll hit. So, bombs away. And I'm gonna stay on the target here for the simple reason that I know that it's gonna do some nice fireworks once I hit it. I've put a few Hollywood special effects on it. We'll switch to TV so we don't get blinded by the explosions. You can clearly see the trucks there. Kaboom. Bang bang. Alright, so that's taken care of. So I'm going to continue flying away from the target. Hitting east, more or less. And then when we come back, we'll try to locate the supply trucks at that target. I wanted you to see the nice fireworks, so I stayed on the first target, but I could have dropped both bombs probably on the first pass if I had been quick on the targeting pod. But since we're not in a hurry, we'll just try to go with quality instead of quantity. Try to put my heading roughly at 270, which will bring us towards the sun, towards the west. And from there, we're going to try to locate those supply trucks. So let me just reset my altitude hold. We're going to go back to white hot. We're going to zoom out. We can see the moving vehicles, so that's good. We've spotted those. But what we're trying to find now is where are the supply trucks. So they could be close to those tents there. But I just see infantry running around, so that's not where they are. It could be to the south there. Ah yeah, there are trucks there. So that's where we want to hit. So let's lock that and drop our bomb. I guess we're pretty much minimum range to do that, but let's see what the bomb does. So the bomb is here, it's turning. So it looks like it's headed in the right direction. As you can see, it had to make like a right turn from where I am. But it's GPS guided, so. And what I can do is I can enter like a slow right turn, which allows my targeting pod to look at the target. I really dislike when it jumps like that. Let's go back to the bomb view. It's the more dramatic view there. Now it's making its sharp turn, and it's probably going to start diving now. There we go. And there we go. And kaboom. I think there are some of the trucks still alive, so maybe we'll have to do a gun pass to finish them off, but that's a good hit there. Now, what we'll do is we'll zoom out a bit, and we'll try to locate these trucks that were moving earlier. There they are. So we'll have one of them locked. And now we'll switch to our laser guided bombs. Just locking the ground close to where they were so that I can come in for another pass. How are we doing with fuel? 7,500, that's good. Alright, so where are these BTRs? There they are. Okay, so I've got a point track. There we go. So we're going to go drop our bomb on this guy. So we'll put our bomb line in front of us. Make sure that we're still tracking the target. Laser is on. Almost ready to drop. Pickle button. And bombs away for the first bomb. When vehicles are moving like that, I like to press the trigger to get the laser to go. And I can see now that I have the wrong laser code, so I'm gonna have to go real quick here and do this. And now I'm lasing with the right laser code. I guess when the targeting pod was not warmed up, I wasn't entering the right code at the right moment, so hopefully this will work. Shack! We got him, and we can probably target the other one right away there. I don't know if he's gonna continue moving or if he's gonna stay put, but we have a track on him. So we'll move a little bit further away so that we can come back and drop our final bomb. And then maybe we'll go for a gun pass on the remaining trucks next to the trees where we dropped the second JDAM. So the problem I have now is that he's no longer there. So where did he go? Ah, there he is. He's running away. Not for long. Gotta be careful not to lose the track. There we go. You see, we've lost the track there. There it is. I think I might be too close. Yeah, I went too close. When we lost the track, we lost the target, so we're gonna have to do another pass. The target is right underneath us like this. It's kind of hard to maneuver for the kill. Sometimes I dive for it, but that's a bit close for a dive. The cool thing about the helmet display is you can actually have an idea of where it is relative to the ground there. So we've kept our lock. Hopefully it keeps the lock. You see, when we turn like that and the thing gets masked, sometimes we lose it. So let's try to dive towards it a little bit. I don't have to be like 100% precise because it is laser guided, but let's get it like that. Bombs away. We're gonna laze. And shack on the second one. Great job. Okay. Super. So yeah, now I can go to Cat 1. There we go. The other thing I'm going to do, since we want to do a gun pass, is I'm going to jettison my heavy tanks, which are pretty much empty now. Yep. So we're going to do this. And just for the dramatic value of it, we're going to go outside view and do this. Bye bye. So now that we're a bit lighter, we'll be able to go do a gun pass. But first, I want to figure out where the targets are going to be, because as you can see, it's getting very dark. And when you're in the gun mode, you lose your track on the targeting pod. So what I'll do now is I'll go look, set it as soy. So I've got these guys here. Whoops. There's a lot of things to check. Okay, that's the forest where these targets were. And we still have a few trucks there, so I'm going to lock that area. Ooh. And that area is right where that box is. So now that I know where it is, I can switch to guns. Zoom in on my HUD. And I know where I need to go gun these trucks. I'm gonna get my air brakes out. And we're gonna go guns, guns, guns. And as you can see, there's not going to be much left there. We set the remaining trucks ablaze. We're going to drop chaff and flare just because we never know if somebody has a man pads. And I think that will allow us to get out of the target area and head home. So we're going to get it out of air to ground mode. We're going to go to waypoint 4. Alright, so let's look at what we have here. That guy at Angels 20, I think, is the tanker. Let's check our F10 map. That's him right there. He's on TACAN 70 on frequency 135. So let's see on COM 2. If I go to preset, that's 135. Enter. 2, enter. If I call him, will he answer, or am I still on 121?
Texaco 2-1, Springfield 2, request rejoin.
Yeah, I think what we need to do is when we go to COM 2, oops. We can actually enter just 2 here, and that's going to give us channel 2, so let's try that again. Tanker, is it Texaco? Texaco 2-1, okay. So, tanker, Texaco, intent to refuel.
2-1, Springfield 2, request rejoin. Springfield 2, Texaco 2-1, proceed to pre-contact at 20,000 at 290.
So the problem here is we have to catch up to him, which doesn't make it particularly worthwhile, and it's getting darker, so I don't know. we're practicing here. So for Takan, he's on 7-0, enter. So that's his frequency there. There we go. So we have a direction to him. Gonna try to catch up to him real quick, but if it seems to take forever, I'll go directly to the base, because as you can see, he's heading in that direction and our base is right here. For the sake of practicing the air refueling, it's good, but in terms of practicality for the mission, it doesn't serve a purpose. I have plenty of fuel to get back home. Turning a little bit to the right of where the arrow is pointing so that I can do like some pure pursuit there. Oh, I'm supersonic. I'm at Mach 1. So now we're back to Mach 9 or 8. The only cool thing about doing late day refueling is that you can see the lights under the tanker a little bit better. But at some point you can't see anything anymore, and then it becomes dangerous. I didn't equip the plane with the night vision goggles because I have the helmet mounted display, so I'll try not to put myself in too much danger. What I could do is lower myself to, let's say, 19,000 feet, and maybe I will see the tanker a little bit better against the sky. Let's see what the range is there. Okay, so he's about 5 miles away. Yeah, I see him now. That's him right there. So, just for fun, we're going to open up our thing here. Actually, first we should turn the lights on and then open this up. And now you can see that my door is open on the back there, making myself visible to the tanker. And then I'll call him again when I get close enough to say I'm ready pre-contact. Oh, and he decides he's going to turn now. Well, I'm going to have to turn to slow down anyways, so... It's got the boom going down.
Ready, pre-contact. Return pre-contact. Ready, pre-contact. Clear contact.
Alright, we're doing this. Okay, now he's turning. A bit low. Trying to get to the proper altitude. I think he's climbing as well. It's weird dents. Yeah, okay, now he's back at Angels 20. Trying to get underneath him a little bit. There we go. Still a bit low. Trying to get the left light to turn green. There we go. So I've got the correct height. I've got to move forward.
Magic 1-1, passing waypoint 5 at 27,000. Contact. You're taking fuel.
We're getting some fuel, but not for long. If you're curious to know what I do, I'm going to put these controls there.
Contact. You're taking fuel. Contact. You're taking fuel.
Didn't turn on the lights in the cockpit, so I don't really see how much fuel I've got, but I think I'll have enough to make it home, so we'll just try to connect maybe one more time for the sake of it.
Contact.
You see, we're connected.
You're taking fuel.
Okay, so we're completed, so that's good. I didn't think I'd do the whole thing, but we're good. So thanks for the fuel, sir. Hey, look at this. Doesn't that make a nice screenshot? Alright, so if I increase my range here, I can just say let's go to steer point 4, which is right there, and we can see the runway. That's all nice and good. And I guess we could get that door closed. There we go. And I will get the attitude hold on, and we can turn some light in here. So we can see the instruments a little bit. But yeah, you can see that the fuel is pretty much full. There, nighttime. So now we'll switch to the last waypoint, which is the runway. It's not quite on the runway, as you can see. I guess my INS has shifted a little bit during the flight, but close enough. So I'm gonna pull a few G's to slow down. We'll try to make a nice approach. There we go. Let's get our gear down. And now we're gonna have to go switch the radio again. So COM 2 1 2 0 1 0, enter.
Altitude.
And then we get to call the ATC.
Springfield 2, inbound. Springfield 2, fly heading 109, Fort 1, QFE 27.57, runway 28, to pattern altitude.
We don't see much, but we're coming in. Get our feet on the pedals.
Forward 5 is RTB at 4,500.
We'll raise the seat a little bit. It helps when you're coming into land.
Springfield 2, clear for visual, contact tower. Springfield 2, request landing. Springfield 2, clear to land, runway 28.
I'm used to landing with my wingman, and often I'll take the right side of the runway like this when I land so that he can take the left side coming back behind me, but Since I'm all by myself, I can take the center now. Nice soft landing. And we're going to use the brakes. Whose plane is that? There's a lot of traffic here. They gave me permission to land, but there were people on the runway. I saw the flashing lights. I was like, what? Okay. I guess that tells us that the ATC still needs a little bit of work in DCS, but hey, we made it safely. We didn't crash into the other F-16s. We're good. So let's go take the taxiway. Just gonna try to figure out here. Okay, we can see the taxiway lights in blue, so we'll follow those. There we go, and we got our lines on the ground. It's pretty dark. Good thing I know my airfield pretty well. I'll be able to go park in hangar number 2. I think those F-16s are the AWACS escorts. They were probably running low on fuel. That's why they came here. Where are they now? Okay, there's one there, there's one there, so I guess they're parked. Yeah, that's the flashing light we see here. It's from an F-16. Those are the guys I saw on the runway. And now they're turning them off, so that means they're parked. There's one there, and that's an F-15. Those were already there when we started. So he's at number 1, the other one here, as we can see. So I'm going to take number 2, which is where I had started off anyways. You can see the number there on the protected wall. Alright, that looks good. So maybe ask the crew to put in the wheel chocks.
Chief, place the wheel chocks.
And maybe in order not to blind them completely, I could turn my landing lights off. And then we'll do the lazy shutdown because this is how we roll. Oh, there's another plane there. Oh, that's the F-15s. So those F-15s that were making sure that we had a lot of clean airspace. They're coming back. There we go. And now our canopy is opening up. So let's go check F10 map. So I have like a little Jeep there, a UAZ that I had put. It's gonna be very hard to see anything, of course, because it's nighttime. So we see some fires in that direction there. What are those fires? I would guess it's probably the moving vehicles. It looks like the shape of a BTR that's destroyed. And in the other direction there was a little bit of a fire, but we lost it. I think that was the trucks. And in here there was smoke. That's probably like the building in town. There's not much left of it, but we can't see because it's too dark. But yeah. So the targets appeared here, the supply trucks. That's why I was shooting them through the trees there. But they could have appeared there or near to where those infantry boys are running, near the tents. So that's what keeps the mission interesting, because you have this target and then you can have one to the east, the west, or to the south. This time it was to the south, and then there was those BTRs driving around. And for this target it's the same thing. You could have the main target. You can see that the trucks look like they're to the east, but they could have appeared to the south next to those tents, or they could have appeared near those camo tents there. So it really forces you to use your targeting pod well to locate the enemy, drop your bombs accurately, and get everything done right. So yeah, we've got a lot of aircraft that came back here, including mine. And so I guess that's a wrap. So I hope you enjoyed the little flight. Cool hand out.